Welcome back, radio fans. Big Al here on this Monday, May 20th, 2024. And we are back with part two of our San Antonio radio stations reissue. As this time we'll be taking a look at the FM side of the dial. The AM reissue is now up. You can go ahead and watch that one first and then circle back to this one. And with that, let's jump into the May 2024 FM radio stations reissue for the San Antonio market. Starting off on 88.3 channel 202 is KPAC San Antonio, known as 88.3 KPAC, San Antonio's classical oasis. Judging by that slogan, this is a classical music station affiliated with NPR. They signed on the air on November 7th, 1982. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 69,000 watts. Studios are located at 321 West Commerce Street in San Antonio at the Texas Public Radio headquarters. And their transmitter is at the end of Galm Road in San Antonio. This is on the KCYY tower. We'll talk about that station a little later. KPAC is owned by Texas Public Radio, which makes it a sister station to our next station, and that's 89.1 channel 206, KSTX San Antonio, known as Texas Public Radio, and I think this is the flagship of that network. Their slogan is News and Views. This is a news talk format affiliated with NPR. They signed on the air on October 3rd, 1988. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 72,000 watts. Studios are also at 321 West Commerce Street, and their transmitter is also at the end of Galm Road in San Antonio, again on the KCYY transmitter tower. KSTX is also owned by Texas Public Radio, and they also broadcast on 5 other stations across South Central Texas. Their all-news programming is also heard on KTPR 89.9 FM, Stanton, Texas, KVHL 91.7 FM, Llano, Texas, KTPD 89.3 FM, Del Rio, and KCTI 1450 AM in Gonzales, Texas, which we talked about on the AM rundown. News and classical music is heard on KTXI 90.1 FM, Ingram, Texas. And that's it for the 2 stations of Texas Public Radio. So moving on to 89.7 channel 209, you've got KJMA Floresville. KJMA 89.7 Catholic Radio for your soul. This is a Catholic radio station affiliated with both the Guadalupe Radio Network and the EWTN Radio Network. The station signed on the air in 1992 as KWCB and became KJMA in 2007. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located at the Guadalupe Radio Network headquarters at 1406 East Garden Lane, Midland, Texas. The station's transmitter is at 743 County Road 239 in McCoy. KJMA is owned by the La Promesa Foundation, and programming is relayed on translator station K229BJ 93.7 FM, licensed to the San Antonio suburb of Hollywood Park. 90.1 channel 211 is KSYM FM San Antonio. They're known as KSYM 90.1, your only alternative. This is a college radio station which plays adult album alternative music. They signed on the air on September 15th, 1966. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,700 watts. Their studios are located on the campus of San Antonio College at 1819 North Main Street. Their transmitter is at 1300 San Pedro Avenue, also located in San Antonio. KSYM, as I alluded to, is owned by San Antonio College. Moving on to 90.9 channel 215. You've got KYFS San Antonio. This is part of the Bible Broadcasting Network, featuring a Christian talk and teaching format with some Christian music airing during the evening hours. KFYS signed on the air on April 9th, 1992. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at the full 100,000 watts. Programming originates from BBN's headquarters in Charlotte, North Carolina. Their transmitter is located off of Schultz Drive in Garden Ridge, Texas. KYFS is owned and operated by the Bible Broadcasting Network, Incorporated. 91.3 channel 217 is KZLV, Lido, Texas. This is the San Antonio affiliate of the K-Love Radio Network, featuring contemporary Christian music. This station signed on the air as KXPZ on July 20th, 1988, and became KZLV in 1999 when EMF purchased the station. They have a Class C2 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 50,000 watts. Studios are programming originates from the K-Love headquarters in Rockland, California, which is outside of Sacramento, and their transmitter is off the I-35 access road in Atascosa. KZLV is owned by the Educational Media Foundation, or EMF. 91.7 channel 219 is KRTU FM San Antonio, as we are wrapping up the traditional non-commercial band. They're known as Jazz 91.7 during the day and Indie overnight during nighttime hours. KRTU plays jazz music 7 days a week from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. and indie rock from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. KRTU signed on January 23rd, 1976. They have a Class C3 license with the Federal Communications Commission, broadcasting at 30,000 watts. Studios are located on the campus of Trinity University at 1 Trinity Place in San Antonio. Their transmitter is also on the KCYY Tower at the end of Gallon Road in San Antonio. KRTU FM is owned by Trinity University. Now we're going to jump over to the commercial band on FM. 92.1 channel 221 has 2 stations. The first is aimed at the far southern reaches of the San Antonio metro area, and that's KCAF FM, Kennedy, Texas, known as No Bull Radio, featuring a country music format. KCAF signed on the air in 1982 as KTNR and became KCAF in 2014. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 6,000 watts. Studios are located at 210 North Panna Maria Avenue in Karnes City. Their transmitter is in Kennedy, off of County Road 159. KCAF, or Noble Radio, is owned by David Martin Phillip and licensed to Rufus Resources, LLC. The other station on 92.1 is aimed primarily at the northern and eastern portions of the market, and that's KNBT New Braunfels. They're known as Radio New Braunfels, featuring an Americana format. License was granted to the station on November 7, 2003. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 6,000 watts. Their studios are at 6515 Walnut Avenue. Their transmitter is at 1540 Loop 337, both located in New Braunfels. KNBT is owned by New Braunfels Communications Incorporated. 92.3 channel 222, broadcasting in high definition, is KRNH Kerrville. They're known in the Hill Country as 92.3 The Ranch. On 92.3 FM analog and 92.3 HD1 is country music. 92.3 HD2 is the Hill Country Patriot 104.3 and 102.1, featuring a news talk format. 92.3 HD3 is the country music simulcast of KFXE 96.5 The Fox, which is licensed in Ingram, Texas. And on HD4 is 106.5 The Raptor, playing classic rock. KRNH signed on the air as KITE in October of 1990 on 92.1. The station would move to 92.3 in 1994 and became KRNH in 2000. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 20,000 watts. Studios are located at 3505 Fredericksburg Road in Kerrville. The transmitter is at 180 Red Rose Road in Comfort, Texas, which is also in the Hill Country. KRNH 92.3 The Ranch is owned by Lindell Grubbs and licensed to Radio Ranch Limited. Translator stations K271CH 102.1 FM Fredericksburg and K282BI 104.3 FM Kerrville relays the news talk format on HD2. And translator station K293CY 106.5 FM Kerrville relays the classic rock format on HD4. Short space next to them on 92.5 channel 223 is KRPT Divine, Texas. This is a southwestern suburb of San Antonio. They're known as 92.5 and 93.3 The Bull, featuring classic country music. KRPT signed on the air in 1982 as KDCI and would undergo 3 call sign changes with 3 sets of call letters until they became KRPT in 2005. They have a Class C2 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 50,000 watts. Studios are located at the iHeartMedia World Headquarters at 20880 Stone Oak Parkway in San Antonio. Their transmitter is located off of FM 2779 in Pearsall, Texas. KRPT is owned by iHeartMedia, again locally based in San Antonio, and licensed to IHM Licenses, LLC. KRPT's programming is simulcast on sister station KZEP-FM 104.5 HD3 in San Antonio and relayed on translator station K227BH 93.3 FM, which is also licensed to San Antonio. 92.9 channel 225 is KROM San Antonio, which broadcasts in high definition. They're known as K Buena 92.9. On 92.9 FM analog and 92.9 HD1 is regional Mexican music. 92.9 HD2 is Latino mix, which is Spanish CHR. Now, this was a full power station on 95.1 until just recently. 92.9 HD3 is also a regional Mexican station known as La Pantera 102.3. KROM signed on the air as KITY in 1947. They would undergo 3 call sign changes with 3 sets of call letters, including KONO-FM, which they used from 1947 to 1960, and KITY, which they used a second time from 1960 to 1990. The station officially became KROM in 1993. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 45,000 watts. Studios are located at 12451 Network Boulevard in San Antonio. Their transmitter is also in San Antonio, off Elmendorf Lavernia Road. KROM, or 92.9 K Buena, is owned by the Euphoria Audio Network and licensed to Tichenor License Corporation. Translator station K272EK 102.3 FM San Antonio relays the La Pantera regional Mexican format on HD3. Jumping ahead to 94.1 channel 231, broadcasting in high definition, that's KTFM Floresville, known as 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. On 94.1 FM analog and 94.1 HD1 is Sports Talk. They are an affiliate of ESPN Radio. Their sister station, ESPN 1250, runs the entire ESPN national schedule, while San Antonio Sports Star runs locally produced Sports Talk. On 94.1 HD2 is Hip Hop, known as We 94.5. And on HD3 is Tejano. This is the simulcast of KLEY-FM Tejano 95.7 and 103.3. We'll be talking about that station shortly. KTFM is the San Antonio affiliate of the Dallas Cowboys and the World Series champion Texas Rangers. KTFM signed on the air on March 25th, 1991 as KRIO-FM. They would become KLEY-FM in 1998 and KTFM in 2005. During the station's construction permit, they were assigned the call letters KWBL, but they have never been used on the air in San Antonio. The KWBL call letters are presently being used on an iHeartMedia-run country station in Denver. KTFM has a Class C2 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 19,000 watts. Studios are located at 4050 Eisenhower Road in San Antonio. Their transmitter is located on the television tower of PBS member station KLRN-TV Channel 9, off of South Foster Road, also in San Antonio. KTFM 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is owned by Alpha Media and licensed by Alpha Media Licensee. Translator station K233DB 94.5 FM San Antonio relays the hip-hop format on HD2. And translator station K277CX 103.3 FM San Antonio relays the Tejano format heard on KLEY-FM via KTFM HD3. 95.1 Channel 236 is KMYO Comfort Amor 95.1. This is a Spanish adult contemporary station signing on the air as KYBC on 95.3 FM in 1991. The station would undergo 5 call sign changes with 4 sets of call letters, including 2 stints as KCOR-FM, the first being 2000 to 2008, and the second coming 2014 to 2015. That was the year they became KMYO. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 12451 Network Boulevard in San Antonio. Their transmitter is near the intersection of Bandera Road and Habby Lane in the San Antonio suburb of Helotes, Texas. This is northwest of the city. KMYO is owned by the Euphoria Audio Network and licensed to Univision Radio Illinois Incorporated. Excuse me. 95.7 Channel 239 is KLEY-FM Jordanton, known as Tejano 95.7 and 103.3. This is now the go-to station for Tejano music in San Antonio, at least on the FM side of the dial. There's another Tejano station coming up. We'll talk about that later. KLEY-FM signed on in 2001 as KBUC. Between 1998 and 2000, the station used KBOP-FM during their construction permit and officially became KLEY-FM in 2005. They have a Class C2 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 11,000 watts. Studios are located at 4050 Eisenhower Road in San Antonio. Their transmitter is in Charlotte, Texas, off County Road 300. KLEY-FM is owned by Alpha Media and licensed to Alpha Media Licensee, LLC. 96.1 Channel 241, broadcasting in high definition, is KXXM San Antonio. 96.1 Now, San Antonio's #1 hit music station. On 96.1 FM analog and 96.1 D1 is Top 40 CHR. And on 96.1 HD2 is a bilingual classic hits station known as Retro. KXXM signed on the air on May 5th, 1964 as KMFM. It would become KSLR in 1983, KSAQ in 1984, KSJL-FM in 1993, and KXXM in 1998. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 99,000 watts. Studios are located within the iHeartMedia World Headquarters at 20880 Stone Oak Parkway, San Antonio. Their transmitter is off of Hero at Frederick Wilderness Park in San Antonio. 96.1 now is owned by iHeartMedia and licensed to IHM Licenses, LLC. Next up, 97.3 Channel 247, broadcasting in high definition, KAJA, San Antonio. They're known as KJ97, San Antonio's #1 for new country. On 97.3 FM analog and 97.3 HD1 is country music with no additional subchannels. Affiliations with Premier Networks. KAJA signed on the air in 1951 as the original KITE-FM. They would become KENN-FM in 1957, KEEZ in 1958, WOAI-FM in 1978. Now, this would be the FM counterpart to their sister AM station on 1200. And then the station became KAJA in 1981. They have a Class C0 license with the FCC, broadcasting at the maximum 100,000 watts. Studios are located at the iHeartMedia headquarters at 20880 Stone Parkway in San Antonio. Their transmitter is off of Gom Road in San Antonio, which is the transmitter tower used by rival country station KCYY. Again, we'll be talking about them in just a bit. KJ97 is owned by iHeartMedia and licensed by IHM Licenses, LLC. All right, there is a station on 97.7, but they now air the same programming as 103.7, so we'll jump ahead to that one in a little bit. But for now, let's go to 98.5 Channel 253, broadcasting in high definition, KBBT, Schertz, Texas, northeast suburb of San Antonio. They're known as 98.5 The Beat, San Antonio's hip-hop and R&B. On 98.5 FM analog and 98.5 HD1 is Rhythmic Contemporary. And 98.5 HD2 is Spanish CHR, known as Latino Mix. This is also heard on KROM's second digital subchannel. KBBT signed on the air in Pleasanton, Texas as KBOP 98.3 FM in 1968. And in 2000, the station city of license was switched from Pleasanton to Schertz, and the station officially became KBBT. While in Pleasanton, the station was KBUC in 1993, and it later moved to 98.5 in Schertz and became KBBT in 2000. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 97,000 watts. Studios are located at 12451 Network Boulevard, San Antonio. Transmitter is off of Gom Road, that's GALM Road, in San Antonio on the KCYY transmitter tower. KB 98.5, The Beat, is owned by the Euphoria Audio Network and licensed to Univision Radio Illinois Incorporated. 98.9 Channel 255 is the other FM Tejano station and that's KLMO FM, Dilley, Texas, known as KLMO or KLMO, Tejano 98.9. And just in case I didn't beat it into ground further enough, this is a Tejano format. Signing on the air in 2001 officially as KLMO FM, but used KMOA during their construction permit from August to October of 2000. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 92,000 watts. Studios are located at 4241 East Piedras Drive, Suite 181 in San Antonio. Their transmitter is in Frio County, off of US 57 in Frio Town, Texas. KLMO 98.9 is owned by Dilley Broadcasters. 99.5 Channel 258, broadcasting in high definition, is KISS FM San Antonio. 99.5 KISS, Rock San Antonio. On 99.5 FM analog and 99.5 HD1 is Mainstream Rock. 99.5 HD2 is the classic rock simulcast of sister station KTKX 106.7 The Eagle. We'll be talking about that station towards the end of this rundown, so stay tuned. KISS FM signed on the air on December 9th, 1946. They have a Class C0 license with the FCC, broadcasting at the maximum 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 8122 Data Point Drive, number 600 in San Antonio. Their transmitter is on Elmendorf, Lavernia Road in Elmendorf, Texas. 99.5 KISS is owned by Cox Media Group, licensed to CMG New York, Texas Radio LLC. Programming is simulcast on sister station KTKX 106.7 HD2, located in the San Antonio suburb of Terrell Hills, Texas. 100.3 Channel 262, broadcasting in high definition, is KCYY San Antonio. Y100, home of the most country in San Antonio. On 100.3 FM analog and 100.3 HD1 is country music. 100.3 HD2 is the classic country simulcast of sister station KKYX 680 AM. KCYY signed on the air on June 5th, 1966 as KBER-FM. The station would undergo 5 call sign changes with 5 sets of call letters until they became KCYY in 1987. They have a Class C0 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 1. Studios are located at 8122 Data Point Drive, number 600 in San Antonio, and their transmitter is off of Gom Road, also in San Antonio, and that's where many FM stations hold their transmitters as well. KCYY, or Y100, is owned by the Cox Media Group and licensed to CMG NY Texas Radio LLC. So this is a sister station to 99.5 KISS. And it's also the sister station to our next station, which is 101.1 Channel 266, broadcasting in high definition, and that's KONO FM, Helotes, Texas. They're known as Kono 1011, spelled KONO, San Antonio's greatest hits. On 101.1 FM log and 101.1 HD1 is classic hits. 101.1 HD2 is the oldies simulcast of 860 KONO AM. And on 101.1 HD3 is the Hot Adult Contemporary simulcast of sister station KSMG Hits 105.3. KONO FM signed on the air on February 18th, 1971 as KNAF. It had become KFAN in 1981 and KONO FM in 1990. Again, that call sign would later spawn San Antonio's ABC station on Channel 12, which is now KSAT. KONO FM has a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 96,000 watts. Studios are located at 8122 Data Point Drive, number 600 in San Antonio. Their transmitter is also on the KCYY Tower off of Gom Road in San Antonio. Kono 1011 is owned by the Cox Media Group and licensed to CMG New York, Texas Radio LLC. Their programming is simulcast on sister station KSMG 105.3 HD3 in Seguin, Texas. 101.9 Channel 270, broadcasting in high definition, is one of San Antonio's highest rated stations, KQXT-FM San Antonio. Also known as Q1019, San Antonio's best variety of the 80s, 90s, and today, and they are also listed as San Antonio's Christmas station. On 101.9 FM analog and 101.9 HD1 is adult contemporary for much of the year and Christmas music during the holidays. 101.9 HD2 is a smooth jazz station known as Smooth Jazz San Antonio. And 101.9 HD3 is a regional Mexican station known as La Preciosa 105.7. KQXT signed on the air on November 1st, 1967 as COR FM and then became KQXT 4 years later in 1971. They have a Class C1 license with the Federal Communications Commission, broadcasting at the maximum 100,000 watts. Studios are located at the iHeartMedia headquarters at 20880 Stone Oak Parkway in San Antonio. Their transmitter is on top of the Tower of the Americas, located in Hemisphere Park in downtown San Antonio. Q1019 is owned by iHeartMedia and licensed to IHM Licenses LLC. Translator station K289BN 105.7 FM San Antonio relays the regional Mexican format heard on HD3. Next up is 102.3 Channel 272, KSAQ, Charlotte, Texas. No brand for this station, they play country music. Their license was granted by the FCC on November 17, 2014. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 4,400 watts. Studio location is unlisted. Transmitter is off of FM 3455 in Charlotte, Texas. KSAQ is owned by Creative RF Venture Group, LLC. 102.7 Channel 274 is KJXK San Antonio. 102.7 Jack FM, playing what we want. This station features adult hits and is an affiliate of the Dallas Cowboys radio network. KJXK's initial construction permit was issued on November 20th, 1967, as KTSA FM. This would be the counterpart to 550 AM. The station's official first sign-on was December 3rd, 1969, as KTFM, which would become a top 40 powerhouse in San Antonio. They would become KSRX in 2003 and KJXK in 2006. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 4050 Eisenhower Road, San Antonio. Their transmitter is downtown on the Tower of the Americas in Hemisphere Park. KJXK 1027 Jack FM is owned by Alpha Media and licensed to Alpha Media License LLC. 103.1 Channel 276 is KZKV, Karnes City, Texas. They are part of the K-Love Radio Network, broadcasting contemporary Christian music. This station signed on the air in March of 2005 KTXX, which is currently being used on a full-power FM station in Austin. They would become KHHL in 2009, and this was the simulcast partner of 95.7 until EMF purchased the station and changed the call sign to KZKV in 2022. KZKV has a Class C2 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 34,000 watts. Programming originates from the K-Love headquarters in Rocklin, California. The transmitter is located off of FM 2656, FM standing for Farm to Market Road, in Eclecto, Texas. KZKV is now under the ownership of the Educational Media Foundation, which would make it a sister station to our next two stations. 103.7 Channel 279, broadcasting in high definition, is KZAI, Balcones Heights, Texas. This is a north side suburb of San Antonio. Programming is also heard on 97.7 Channel 249, broadcasting in standard analog, and that's KZAR, McQueeney, Texas. Both stations are a part of the Air One network, Worship Now, and The Worship Station. FM analog on both stations and on 103.7 HD1 is contemporary worship music. On 103.7 HD2 is the sister network K-Love, playing contemporary Christian music. And on 103.7 HD3 is Radio Nueva Vida, featuring Spanish contemporary Christian music. KZAI was originally a Corpus Christi station, signing on the air on May 20th, 1968 as KCTA FM, which was assigned to the Corpus Christi suburb of Sinton, Texas. And this was the FM counterpart to KCTA AM 1030. On June 7th, 2021, 103.7 FM moved from Corpus Christi to San Antonio and became KO. In fact, let me rephrase that. 103.7 would move from Corpus Christi to San Antonio on June 7th, 2021 as KZAI. While in Corpus Christi, the station became KO in 1970 and officially became KXAI in 2013. Again, the station moved into the San Antonio market on June 7th, 2021 as KZAI. As for KZAR on 97.7, their first sign-on was July 1989 as KQRO-FM. They would become KVCQ in 1995, KNGT in 2003, KLTO-FM in 2005, and KZAR in 2011. KZAI Balcones Heights on 103.7 Channel 279 has a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 2300 watts. From their transmitter located at 1431 North Comal Road or North Comal Street in San Antonio. KZAR McQueeney on 97.7 Channel 249 has a Class C1 license, broadcasting at 100,000 watts from their transmitter off of County Road 132 in Bay Bay, Texas. Programming for both stations originate from the K-Love headquarters in Rockland, California, and both are owned by the Educational Media Foundation, or EMF. We only have 5 stations left in this recap, so we are almost to the finish line. Next up is 104.5 Channel 283, broadcasting in high definition, KZEP FM San Antonio, known as 104.5 Latino Hits or 104.5 Latino Hits. On 104.5 FM analog and 104.5 HD1 is Spanish CHR. 104.5 HD2 is a classic rock format known simply as KZEP or KZEP. 104.5 HD3 is the classic country simulcast of KRPT 92.5 and K227BH 93.3 The Bull. KZEP FM signed on the air on October 1st, 1966 as KITE FM. The station would undergo 3 call sign changes with 3 sets of call letters until they became KZEP FM in 1986. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located within the iHeartMedia headquarters at 20880 Stone Oak Parkway in San Antonio. Their transmitter is in Hemisphere Park at the Tower of the Americas in downtown San Antonio. 104.5 Latino Hits, or KZEP FM, is owned by iHeartMedia and licensed by IHM Licenses, LLC. Translator station K227BH 93.3 FM San Antonio relays the classic country format heard on KRPT via KZEP FM HD3. 105.3 Channel 287, broadcasting in high definition, is KSMG Seguin. Having been known as Magic 105.3 for generations, the station now identifies as the New Hits 105.3. On 105.3 FM analog and 105.3 HD1 is the hot adult contemporary format that they have kept for quite some time. And there are no additional subchannels on this station. KSMG signed on the air on September 9th, 1970 as KWED-FM. This would be the FM complement to 1580 AM. The station would officially become KSMG in 1985. They have a Class C0 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 97,500 watts. Studios are located at 8122 Data Point Drive, number 600 in San Antonio. Their transmitter is on Tower Road in Elmendorf, which is south of the city. The new Hits 105.3 is owned by Cox Media Group and licensed to CMG New York, Texas Radio LLC. KSMG's programming is simulcast on sister station KONO FM 101.1 HD3, Helotes, Texas. Final page, final three stations. 106.3, channel 292 is KMLR Gonzales. This is also a part of the K-Love Radio Network featuring contemporary Christian music. This station signed on the air as KPJN in 1985. It would become KCTI in 1995, KQQT in 2000, and KMLR in 2006. They have a Class C3 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 15,000 watts. Programming originates from the K-Love headquarters in Rocklin, California, and their transmitter is in Luling, Texas, which is pretty much halfway between San Antonio and Austin, at 1401 Austin Road. KMLR is owned by the Educational Media Foundation, or EMF. Quick note here, according to radiolocator.com, KMLR may be operating under a construction permit with the Federal Communications Commission to upgrade their license from Class C3 to Class C1 and increase their effective radiated power to the maximum 100,000 watts from KZAR's transmitter in Bebe, Texas. KMLR's programming is relayed on translator station K280GC 103.9 FM in New Braunfels. And this is the K-Love affiliate for New Braunfels, San Marcos, and the I-10 corridor. Next up, 106.7, channel 294, broadcasting in high definition, KTKX Terrell Hills. 106.7, The Eagle, San Antonio's only classic rock. On 106.7 FM analog and 106.7 HD1 is classic rock. 106.7 HD2 is the mainstream rock simulcast of sister station 99.5 KISS. KTKX signed on the air on July 18, 1979 as KTUF at 106.3 FM. The station would eventually move to their current home at 106.7 in 1986. They would undergo 7 call sign changes with 7 sets of call letters until they became KTKX in 2010. They have a Class C0 license with the FCC, broadcasting at the full 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 8122 Data Point Drive, number 600 in San Antonio. Their transmitter is also in San Antonio at 767 Hallmark Path. 106.7 The Eagle, San Antonio's only classic rock, is owned by Cox Media Group and licensed to CMG New York, Texas Radio LLC. Their programming is simulcast on sister station KISS FM 99.5 HD2 San Antonio. And the final station on the list is 107.5 channel 298, broadcasting in high definition KVBH San Antonio, known as Vibe 107.5. On 107.5 FM analog and 107.5 HD1 is Rhythmic Adult Contemporary, So this station pretty much plays classic hip hop and R&B. 107.5 HD2 is the Tejano simulcast of KXTN Tejano 1350, Tejano and Proud. Now, this used to be on the main station on 107.5 until they flipped it to the current classic hip hop format and moved KXTN and its Tejano music to 1350. KVBH signed on the air on December 31st, 1967 as KBUC FM at 106.3. The station would undergo 4 call sign changes with 4 sets of call letters, including KXTN FM with its very popular Tejano format from 1991 to 2019. And in between, they briefly identified as KMYO until they became KVBH later that year. The station moved from 106.7 to 107.5 in 1974. They have a Class C0 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 95,100 watts or 98,000 watts with a beam tilt. Studios are located at 12451 Network Boulevard in San Antonio, and the transmitter is on Tower Road in Elmendorf. KVBH 51075 is owned by the Euphoria Audio Network and licensed to Tichenor License Corporation. And that is a look at the May 2024 reissue of the San Antonio AM and FM stations. All right, the third of our 4 Texas reissues will be the Houston Galveston market. I'm already underway with info gathering for that market. I hope to have that up soon, so be on the lookout for that. And then after that, we'll reissue stations as well. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell and get notified every time I go live. Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching and happy listening. Peace out.